Yeah, so today we have to revise structure of atom, the last chapter of chemistry, which is a very interesting chapter, and notes were sent. You have to take a printout of the notes, okay, and read along. So the first page of chapter 4, if you can open your textbook, because Kangan will give weird looks to me that she has a textbook but she doesn't search it. So finally I'm taking my textbook. Okay, got my textbook, fine. So we basically have to study structure of atom. We know atom consists of charged particles, which are electron, proton and neutron. Electron was discovered by J.J. Thomson. Proton was discovered by Goldstein, but someone will say Rutherford. Okay, proton was discovered by Goldstein and neutron was discovered by James Chadwick. Okay, so this is in your 1 mark question part. So the charged particles which are present, electrons are what charge? Negatively charged. Protons are what charge? Positively charged. Neutron does not have a charge of its own. So electrons are represented as -1. Proton is represented as +1. And neutron does not have a charge. Mass of an electron, negligible. Mass of a proton, 1. And mass of neutron also equal to 1. Clear? How did J.J. Thomson discover the electron? He discovered electron by what experiment? It is called cathode ray experiment or cathode ray. Okay, so what is cathode ray experiment or a glass discharge tube experiment? Okay, so this part clear? Atom basically consists of, we know atom consists of a nucleus and an outside space, isn't it? We took Parjania's example and studied Rutherford. Yeah, Parjania remembers, okay? So we basically have electron which is what charge? Negatively charged, proton which is positively charged, and neutron does not have a charge. Electron discovered by J.J. Thomson, proton by Goldstein and neutron by James Chadwick. So cathode ray experiment basically says that you have to take what you a glass discharge tube. Fine? In this glass discharge tube, we basically fill a gas at an extremely low pressure and a high voltage current is applied. Fine? And we will always have what pump in the gas and a vacuum pump. Okay. Now we have what? A negative charge and a positive charge electrode. This is connected to the negative of the cell and the chota bad line, and this is connected to what? The positive of the cell. Anything which is connected to the positive is called what? Anode. Anything which is connected to the negative is called what? Cathode. So cathode and anode. Okay? So when the gas was taken at an extremely low pressure and a high discharge electric current or a high potential was applied, we found that a glow is produced at the center. Glow andre ondara light barutte. A glow is produced at the center of the gas discharge tube, which shows that some invisible rays travel from the cathode and move towards the anode. What are the properties of cathode rays? Cathode rays always move in a straight line. Cathode rays always are moving with a very high velocity. Cathode rays always move towards the positive charge plate. That means they are themselves made up of what? Negatively charged particles called electrons. Clear? Understood? So cathode rays always travel in a straight line. They move with very high velocity. They always will move towards, when placed in electric or magnetic field, they will always move towards the positively charged plate, which means they are made up of negatively charged particles called what? Electrons. Clear? This is all about what experiment? Cathode ray experiment. Now we have to study the next charged particle, which is called what ray? What proton. And the experiment is called as what rays? Anode rays. Or it is also called as what? Canal rays. These two basically consist of the discovery of proton. So it again the same principle, but what we take here is a perforated cathode. Perforated under two cathode. Okay. So what we will do here is we will take a perforated cathode and an anode. Anode under it should be connected to the positive charge. Cathode under it should be connected to the negative charge. Correct? And you feel a gas at an extremely low pressure and a high voltage electric current is passed. Some invisible rays travel from the anode and some invisible rays travel from the cathode. But now the glow is produced behind the cathode, which means what? Some rays have gone through these holes, accumulated there and have produced a glow. So this basically proves that they are the rays which have travelled from the anode and moved towards the cathode. These are called as what rays? These are called anode rays. Fine? What are anode rays? They also travel in a straight line. They have high penetrating power. They also will when placed in magnetic or electric field, they will move towards negatively charged plate, which shows that they basically consist of what? Positively charged particles called protons. So this is clear. Discovery of electron, discovery of proton. Any doubts somewhere? Doubts? Okay, so now next part is when I have got electron and I have got proton, then I should know how they are present in an atom. So the first model of atom comes. What is our first model of atom? Thomson's model of atom, or J.J. Thomson's model of atom. What does J.J. Thomson's model of atom says? That atom is a ball of positively charged particles. Atom is a ball of positively charged particles with electrons embedded here and there, like jelly beans or like chocolate in the chocolate ice cream, like seeds in watermelon. Whichever you want, that thing you can write. Like sugar in butterscotch in the ice cream, butterscotch ice cream, whatever you want, Bodambi Drakshi in Sajge, anything you can write, whatever you want, okay? Or paneer piece in paneer butter masala, because we all fight for that small paneer piece or a soya chunk, whatever you want to call. Pradhani, what you should say? Like what does it play? I don't know that, because my children don't play. Like what you get? Some everybody you get that in Counter-Strike. You get some armor, dress, rank. Rank, where even highest rank in diamond?
Global.
You are in what bronze?
Gold.
Andre, about 18 hours of playing every day? So, gold. How you are first one?
Silver and gold.
Bronze one silver.
Nothing.
If you are waste, nothing. If you have some value, you become silver.
Yes.
And if you become a little better, gold. And then platinum is the
Master Guardian.
So you are still not master.
No.
If you become master, now that day only I tell your mother to delete that day. So make sure I don't come to know. Okay. So master means how many hours are playing? Anna also plays the same game. Anna is master.
Gold.
He would have taken his accountant. They got gold. Chota Pitla Chalu. Right? You played through his accountant and got gold. No? Be truthful. Kattu promise. Nothing. All his accounts should have used. Like my son uses my elder fellow's Pokemon Go account and catches. I know. So chalo, coming back. What is Thomson's model of atom? An atom is a ball of positively charged particles with electrons embedded here and there like seeds in the watermelon. Fine. Now, why is this model rejected? Because actually an atom should be electrically neutral. The number of positive charge particles should always be equal to the number of negatively charged particles. In the watermelon, the amount of red pulp is equal to the amount of cedar. No. So atom is not electrically neutral. So this model of atom was rejected. Now we come to which model? Pradhanya's model of atom or Rutherford's model of atom. Rutherford's model of atom is also called as what? Gold leaf spectroscope or gold leaf scattering experiment. It is also called as what? It is called as gold leaf scattering experiment. Okay. What did Rutherford do? He took metal and bombarded them with fast moving beam of alpha rays. What are alpha rays? They are positively charged. They are positively charged rays. They are doubly charged helium atom which has a mass 4 and has how many electrons? 2 electrons. So alpha rays basically are what? Positively charged rays. They are doubly charged helium atom. They are taken because they move with a very high velocity, and as I am told, they have very high penetrating power. And why gold is taken? Because gold is the most malleable metal and it can be drawn into very, very small or thin sheet with only one atom in the entire sheet. One layer of atom. Okay, not one atom but one layer of atom. You can make it so thin. You know, you get those silver pieces on your Kaju Katli. If you are getting married, like Joy Aluka ki beti ka shadi hai, he will put one gold piece also on your Kaju Katli. Imagine Pradhanya eating gold Kaju Katli and showing to Skanda who is eating silver. It is like he is in silver and you are in gold rank, isn't it? Pradhanya has to get gold Kaju Katli. Right? No? If global means nothing, no Kaju Katli, only eat pasta then, because global cuisine. After that, you know? Global ಆದ್ರೆ ಮುತ್ತು ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೂ ನಿಮ್ ಪುಳಿಯೋಗರೆ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ, only pasta ತಿನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬದುಕಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Not good. Can you manage without ಅನ್ನ ಸಾರು? You'll get boiled and diced potato. ಎಲ್ಲ ತಿನ್ನೋಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ? ಇವ್ ನಿಂಗೆ ತಿನ್ನೋ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಅದೇ ನೀನು ಫೋರ್ಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಂತೀಯೋ? ಫೋರ್ಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದೋಸೆ ತಿನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡು, ಅರ್ಧ ದೋಸೆನೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. I can't eat dosa in fork. It's so bad to eat. You take so much of time to eat. इससे अच्छा तो अपना ऐसे करके खाओ और खत्म करो. You get the taste by eating. Okay, so now back to what we were studying. So we have to talk about Rutherford's model of atom. What did Rutherford do? He took the gold atom and then bombarded them with fast moving beam of alpha rays. Most of the alpha rays went straight. Which means what? Atom is extremely hollow. Atom is extremely hollow. Some of the rays got deviated. Why? Because Pradhanya had Skanda, isn't it? So some of the rays got deviated. Why did they get deviated from the straight line? Because these are what charged? Positively charged, and they met what? Negatively charged electron. Okay, one of the million rays came back in the same direction because Pradhanya saw whom? Big brother, and he came back in the same direction because Pradhanya is also what charge? Positive charge. Brother is super duper positive charge. So as a result of it, he returned back in the same direction, which means the nucleus consists of protons. So finally, what did we achieve the model? We said atom is an extremely hollow ball with a solid nucleus at the center. The size of the nucleus is very small when compared to the size of the atom. The nucleus consists of protons and the electrons revolves around the nucleus. Correct? Understood? What did we say? Most of the alpha rays went straight, which means the atom is extremely hollow. Few of them got deflected because they met the negatively charged particle called electrons. 1 out of million rays came back in the same direction from where it went because it hit the hard nucleus which had all what? Positive charge. So we conclude that atom consists of a hollow ball with a solid nucleus at the center. The size of the nucleus is comparatively very small when compared to the size of the atom. The electrons revolve around the nucleus. Correct? Now, what is the defect of this model of atom?
He failed to conclude why those revolving atoms did not fall into the nucleus.
Correct. He could not explain that why the electron will not lose energy when it is moving in what path? Circular path. So what happens? This is my electron. When it is constantly revolving around the nucleus, it will lose energy and ultimately it will fall into what? The nucleus of the atom. He could not explain that why this electron will not fall into the nucleus of atom and will not lose energy when it is constantly moving in what path? Circular path. Who objected to this? Niels Bohr. Okay. After this, what was discovered? Neutron was discovered. Who discovered neutron? Chadwick. What did Chadwick do? He took beryllium atom and then bombarded them with fast moving beam of alpha particles. So first all the electrons went away, then all the protons went away. Then he said, then nothing should be there in the atom. So what he did? He tried to take the atom in the electric and magnetic field. He found that there was some mass, but that mass was neither moving towards negative plane nor moving towards positive plane. Owing to its neutral behavior, he called them as what? Neutrons. But he found that it had a mass equal to 1. So they are called as what? Neutrons. Now after that, who gave the model of atom? Niels Bohr. What did Bohr say? Atom consists of a nucleus or a solid nucleus where what is present? Protons and neutrons are present. Electrons revolve around the nucleus in fixed orbits or energy levels. Each orbit is associated with a fixed amount of energy, and he named these orbits as K, L, M, N. Clear? So he said that every orbit, let us suppose K we say is associated with 5 joule, L with 10 joule, N with 15 joule, and N with 20 joules. So he said, if an electron is revolving in 5 joules, its energy will always be equal to how much? 5 joules. If it is in 20 joules, its energy will always be equal to 20 joules. Only when it jumps from K to N or L or N, it will absorb energy. But when it jumps from N to K, it will radiate energy. Artha Bohr's model, it says that atom consists of a nucleus which has what? Protons and neutrons. Electrons revolve around the nucleus in fixed orbit or energy levels. These fixed orbits or energy levels are named as K, L, M, N. As long as the electron is revolving in a particular orbit, it will neither absorb nor emit energy. When it jumps from lower to higher orbit, it absorbs. When it jumps from higher to lower orbit, it radiates. The difference in energy is given as delta E is equal to E2 minus E1, where E2 is energy of higher orbit and E1 is energy of lower orbit. Clear? Now I'll stop the class and I'll expect you to read till here. Okay? Yeah, let's stop.